Hey guys, so yeah, I wanted to come on here and let you know that I recently just got my first Patreon supporter, my first person to donate on my Patreon. Just to let you guys know, the Patreon is only $1 a month. It's not much. And I thought about, okay, what am I going to do to really just get, people invested a little bit to kind of support the Patreon and at least for $1 a month. And the first thing I said was just to help out and everything. But now I've come to the decision. I was thinking about this. I'm like, you know what? I got enough time on my hands, and there are some things I would like to talk about here on my channel. But I do realize that there are some people that may not, may not like what I have to say, or they'll question what I have to say because it would be a little over their head, a little bit different, and basically a little bit weird maybe from their perspective. So what I want to try to do, and it's not going to be, every week or anything like that. Like let's say a Brian Zane does sometimes, or anybody else that might release, their content early for the Patreoners. This is basically kind of like what Pat Contra, aka the NES Punk, Pat the NES Punk does, and the same with Brian Zane. And that is basically, this is going to be Patreon exclusive for the time being. What that means, Patreon exclusive, is basically the fact that every now and then, I'll be doing a video that's only going to be on Patreon, and will only be there to be viewed again because of the fact that it might be, what I might talk about might be a little over the heads of other people. Now, on top of that, if I do decide down the line to make them public, I will. I know that Pat, when he does his monthly Q&As, he doesn't make them public to the world because that's just between him and his Patreon supporters and his YouTube member supporters as well. So that's just between him and them, but there are times when people like, let's say Brian Zane, will come out and they will actually give early access to their Patreon supporters. So some of the videos they're going to do or plan to release a couple of days later for everybody else to watch, they will give their Patreon supporters and everything early access by a couple of days. Other people like Alex Hicks, formerly known as Delexman here on YouTube, he plans, if not already, is utilizing Patreon as a exclusive place for certain content and all that. I know Brian Zane, just like Pat Conter, does Q&As exclusively to Patreon. So what I plan to do is something a little bit more different. Well, not different, but similar. Now, I'm not going to do a Q&A or anything, but what I am going to do is take a page out of, let's say, Brian Zane's playbook. And Brian Zane, what he does is he has this series called It Came From Memphis. And it's a Patreon exclusive series to where if you support the Patreon, you can only see it on Patreon. That's the only way you could see it. So my plan basically is to, talk about things that might seem a little unusual, a little over the top. Some people might find them strange. Let's just say, basically, that what I talk about sometimes, like with the Mystic Makeover, that's fine and everything. People might be like, oh, we could check that story out if it's on DeviantArt and everything. But some of the other stuff I'm going to talk about, was just like, it goes over the top of the head. Like, I've kind of slightly talked about it, kind of like, didn't like go all the way. It's kind of like a slight subtleness to when I will talk about it. But basically now I'm going to use Patreon to just say, you know what, here it is, flat out, check it out if you want to check it out. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to provide a link to the Patreon down below. I'm not going to change tiers just yet. Well, if I do change tiers, I might go up to, depending on what it is, $2 or $5. That's about it. Maybe $2 at the most, if that's the next highest I can go. So you guys could get the content along, so you guys can get the exclusive content that you want to get, or that you not you want to get, but basically you can get the exclusive content that, again, will not be seen anywhere else except for Patreon, courtesy of YouTube. And it's unlisted, in its unlisted option, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so I'm gonna probably start very soon, but maybe today, and so you guys could get the first idea of what the Patreon exclusiveness is gonna be like. Again, these are gonna be things I'm gonna talk about that might seem a little over the heads of people, but and almost out there at times. But I just figure, might as well talk about it now. These won't be long videos or anything, hopefully. If they do go long or something like that, I will edit them together, of course, in one of my video editing softwares. But mostly I'm going to try to keep them below, because I'm going to try to film them in 4K. So that way, if you have a 4K monitor or a TV or even phone or mobile device, you can see it in the best clarity. So I just wanted to come on here, guys, and let you know that yes, I am going to start doing that. And I want to thank New Jersey Artist. I think that's the name, New Jersey Crazy Artist. Sorry if I said that name wrong. New Jersey is my first Patreoner, supporter, if you will. So if you want to follow his lead, go ahead and support the Patreon. Again, right now, helping out, it's only $1. The first tier is $1 a month, and that helps out. But if you want to probably see the content, it might be in that tier, or it might be a little higher. I'm probably going to, more than likely, I'll probably put it to around the second highest tier that I'm going to go, and that's where you'll get the video content. So more than likely, you'll have 2 tiers to work out. $1 for helping me out, just straight out helping. And then the second tier will be for the exclusive video content, topical content that I will talk about, that you'll only get on Patreon. So let me know what you guys think about it. Comment below. The link to Patreon will be in the description and at the end of the video. Click on it, show support, and get ready, because in just a little bit, as of right now, it's 4:29, about 4:30 Pacific time. I'm going to probably start doing my first Patreon exclusive video. Check it out, guys. When it goes up, I will let you know. But please support the Patreon, and I will talk to y'all later. Take care. God bless. I'm out.